Hi, welcome to the Error Pattern Workshop. This will be the very same presentation that you saw in class on the first error pattern. I'd like to remind you that during the writing process, we really don't even care about our error patterns. While we're doing the first three steps, invention, generating ideas, arranging those ideas in an outline, and drafting and revising, which just means writing it all up, writing up your ideas according to your plan, the outline that you made in the arrangement step. And then revising, meaning you want to make some structural changes, you want to add some information that you thought of after you did your outline, whatever. All of that process is important, and we're building an essay, and we might think we're done, we're happy with everything, but we have one more step, and that's editing. And this is where we care about finding our error patterns and correcting them. I like to say you polish your writing. This is when you find and correct your error patterns. So the first error pattern is when a comma doesn't separate the core sentence from its introductory elements. So an introductory element in any sentence could be just a word, could be a phrase, could be a clause. And we're going to show you some examples of all of those. So any of these could introduce a basic sentence, or as I like to call it, a core sentence. So here's an example. We have the core sentence, John failed that exam. We're going to introduce it with just one word, incredibly. And here's where you need that comma to separate the introductory stuff from that core sentence. Incredibly, comma, John failed that exam. Same core sentence. John failed that exam is called an independent clause because it can stand on its own. So same core sentence, John failed that exam. Now we're going to introduce it with several words, a phrase, known for his intellectual brilliance, comma, John failed that exam. But let's go back here. A phrase just means more than one word, but less than a complete sentence. So, same core sentence, John failed that exam, but now we're introducing it with more information in the form of a clause. Although he is known for his intellectual brilliance, comma, John failed that exam. So the same core sentence introduced with just a word, a phrase, or a whole clause needs to be separated from that core sentence with a comma. So here's another example. We're going to use this core sentence, everyone stayed indoors and watched TV. This also, of course, is an independent clause. It's a complete sentence. It can stand on its own. It makes sense. But we want to add a little more information in terms, in the form of an introductory element of some kind. So let's start with a clause. Because it was so cold outside, everyone stayed indoors and watched TV. Same core sentence, but we're going to add just a single word in front of it. Well, everyone stayed indoors and watched TV. Now we're going to include a phrase in front of it. During the smog alert, everyone stayed indoors and watched TV. So the error is when that comma is missing. So a quick review, same core sentence again, everybody stayed indoors and watched TV. Ordinarily, comma, a single word, with nothing else to do, comma, a phrase. Even though there was nothing on, comma, everyone stayed indoors and watched TV. So there we've added more information to introduce the core sentence in the form of a clause. Some more examples. Having studied all night, Jaden got an A on the test. The core sentence is in gray. Having studied all night, Jaden got an A on the test. When he finally opened his eyes, the sun was beating down on his face in pretty symmetrical designs. Again, the core sentence in gray, introduced with some information in the form of a phrase. It's a clause. When he finally opened his eyes, comma, the sun was beating down on his face in pretty symmetrical designs. As she grew older, she believed the house had been built to hide some sort of criminality. So, core sentence in gray. She believed the house had been built to hide some sort of criminality. Perfectly good sentence, totally on its own. But we want to add, or this author, Mary Gordon, wanted to add a little extra information right in the front of that core sentence. So as she grew older, comma, she believed the house had been built to hide some sort of criminality. So here's one by Danusha Veronica Goska from her article, Political Paralysis. And this sentence, the single sentence, has a core sentence, of course, but it has two introductory elements. So in black is the core sentence: a monsoon storm turned day into night, and a landslide wiped out my trail. So here's the first introductory element: one afternoon. And here's the second one: as I trekked to my teaching post in the Himalayas. So both of those need to be separated from the core sentence with commas. And did I mention this is the most frequently occurring error pattern in college writing according to the study that I told you about in class. And the error is when those commas are missing that should separate a core sentence from its introductory information. Here's another example from the same writer. Besides the pressure of virtue as an unattainable status reserved for the elect, there may be another reason why people don't live their own ideals. Core sentence separated by with a comma by its introductory information. So more practice. We did the more practice examples in class. Here they are. And I'm going to run through them really quickly. Maybe you still have yours to refer to. I'm going through this pretty fast. I'm assuming you still have yours to look at. And that's it. So I hope in your first out-of-class essay, you will be able to go through it in that last editing step and see if you have any of those first error patterns. Examine every sentence one by one and see if you have a core sentence that has some introductory information and that needs to be separated from its introductory elements with a comma. So I hope this worked for you. I hope it was valuable, and I'll see you later.